Welcome to Papa's Workshop. I've got a big surprise for you today. Last week I did a video on the Fox Alien Riser 20-watt laser engraver, and I assembled it and got it all ready. And a lot of you guys said, I can't wait to see it test. Well, today I'm doing that. But it's not just any test. I'm actually going to be engraving on a dowel rod. That's right. I'm engraving on a dowel rod. And the reason being, I've got a whole bunch of pens to be able to turn on the lathe, and I have to put names on them. To be able to do it, I want to be able to use the laser, and I'm going to test out this new Fox Alien Riser 20-watt laser engraver. This is going to be a lot of fun, so let's get started. A day in the shop with Papa in Papa's Workshop. To support my channel, please go to patreon.com/Papa's Workshop. In today's video, we're going to be testing out the new laser engraving on a dowel rod. The first thing I want to do before I do the dowel rods is just test carve on a piece of regular wood and see what it looks like. And there is the height that I need to have right there. Now what I'm going to be engraving is the logo Fox Alien. The size of this is actually very, very small. As far as the width of this, the length is 0.6357, so this is not long at all. And the height is 0.1504. So this is a very small engraving that's going to be done. The other thing I want to point out, the center of origin is right there in the center. The settings that I'm using is 80 inches per minute with 80% power. 80 inches per minute is close to about 2,000 millimeters or a little bit less, but I'm using the inches. So I'm using 80 inches per minute and 80% power. And we're doing this in one pass. So what I want to do is go over here to the move. I'm going to hit the fire button, and that is at a 0.5% power. And you can see the little dot there. I'm gonna go ahead and move that down some. Put that right about there. And then I want to be able to do the frame. Okay. So let's go ahead and get the glasses on and let's engrave this. So there we have the first test using this new laser engraver, and that actually looks quite nice. Now what I want to do is go ahead and set it up to be able to engrave on a dowel rod. Now for this test, I'm just going to use a 1/2-inch dowel rod. And I want to be able to make sure that this is square on the X and the Y axis. And to be able to do that, I'm just going to slip this piece of wood in here. Bring that right down to the front, and then using a triangle I can slide that up. I'm going to put the second one in place, and then I can take the dowel rod and put it where it needs to be. So that's the setup right there. The next thing I need to do is move this so that the center of the light of the laser is right on top. So I'm going to hit the fire button, and then I'm going to bring this down, and that looks pretty good. The other thing I'm going to do is slide it over to the center, and I do need to adjust the height. So this is the setup that I have. I have the piece of wood in here to be able to make sure that it stays square on the X axis. My triangle takes care of being square on my y-axis. Then I have 2 pieces of wood in there to be able to support the dowel rod. The fire button with a 0.5% power is showing the alignment that I have where it's dead center on top of the dowel rod. So let's go ahead and engrave this. So it's all finished. Let me grab this now. That looks absolutely fantastic. Now I have the first pin blank on the lathe, and I have it sanded. It's almost ready to be able to put onto the laser. So I'm going to go ahead and finish sanding this. I'm going to get the first name set up, and we're going to engrave the first name on the first pin. And I've got a whole bunch of pins to be able to make. Now I'm not going to engrave the names on the pin for privacy's sake. And the reason being, these pins are for an Army unit that's deployed. My grandson is along with them, and he wanted to be able to have a special gift to be able to give to members of his unit. So in the interest of privacy, I'm not going to disclose their names, and I'm not going to disclose where they are deployed. But I do want to be able to say that this test with the dowel rod, and this is a 1/2-inch dowel rod, turned out absolutely fantastic. So I encourage you to be able to experiment and try different things with your laser.